today's big question in the review. Will the engine hold up for more than 15 minutes? Good question. You may be wondering why I'm saying this. We're testing the Dorito engine, boy. Yet another RX7. Great. And this one's not even imaginative with the rap. Roll the intro. Tonight in CDT, I say the name of a rotary engine. Wankel. I demonstrate my knowledge of Adolf Hitler. Oh, this one's gonna get me banned, isn't it? I'm pretty sure he's Austrian. And I piss off every Mazda RX7 fanboy by talking about reliability. Dorito engines are just as crunchy as the actual thing. All that to come, but for now... Hello everyone, welcome back to CDT, it is me, Ditto. The Mazda RX7 Falken. CDT's second RX7 drift car and third RX7. The original RX7 drift car came in the first drift event. That was the Veilside RX7, which is obviously Fast and Furious. But this one's the Falken, made by the Falken Formula Drift team. Now this is their livery, and don't know about you, just feels a bit familiar to me. Feels like I've seen it somewhere before, maybe. Just can't quite figure out what. Can't quite tell. I've definitely seen it somewhere before, but can't remember where. Anyway, while I try and figure out where I've seen that wrap and livery before, let's talk about the actual RX7. Now, I referred to it at the start as the Dorito engine, boy. And that's because it's got a wankel. That's wankel with an L, you dirty-minded fuckers. Named after a guy called Felix Wankel, or I think it's actually pronounced Wankel. Because I'm pretty sure he's Austrian, or German. Anyway, it's the rotary engine, which is basically where there's a triangular shaped cylinder that spins inside of a casing, which makes really massive amounts of power from a very small space. 130 horsepower, I think. No, 260 horsepower from 1.3 litres was the RX8. This is the RX7, it makes a little bit less, but, actually, no, it doesn't, because this is obviously a tuned version. Tuned for drifting, as I'm demonstrating. So I don't know how much it has in real life. I think it's about 500 horsepower, but they've probably swapped it from a single rotor to a dual rotor, or even a tri-rotor like they have in the Corvette I showed you earlier. Now, that's obviously not as much as the other 7 Mazda with a wankel. The 787B with 4 rotors. Nice. The most unsuccessful, least successful car ever. Seriously, it run 1 out of 21 races and everyone still fucking loves it. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Anyway, the reason why it's called the Dorito engine, boy, is because, well, it's got a cylinder shaped like a Dorito. However, the Dorito engines are just as crunchy as the actual thing. I stole that from a Ditastic If Car Adverts Were Accurate video. RX7s, well, not just RX7s, but any rotary engine cars were horribly reliable. It was supposed to be more reliable, because less moving parts. You know, kind of similar to electric motors and stuff. But, unfortunately, it ended up consuming fuel and oil a lot and then going wrong. Usually in an explosion. Shame, which means that we haven't seen... Well, since the RX8 went out of production, there's only been one rotary engine car. The Mazda CX-30, I think. Or, no, maybe it's the MX-30. Anyway, it's another Mazda. And it's an SUV. Fuck. Fortunately, in CDT, you can still enjoy the classics. This car is so quick. Drift cars in CDT usually are quite quick. Because they've got drift gearboxes, which means longer ratios with less torque? No. Longer ratio gearboxes. Which means that you don't have as many gears, but you have to change gear less, which is good. Don't ask me why. But still, this RX7 is very quick. Just put your foot down. And the background starts to move very quickly indeed. It's good fun, and it goes all the way up to 203 miles an hour. And that's because it does 158 as standard. Despite being ranked as a Class 3, I don't know why they've done that. And for a drift car, it actually turns quite well as well. Like, I can take this corner at 100. You know, obviously this is talking in terms of relativity to drift cars. There is not much steering when you're braking and turning. Obviously it's no Huni Pegasus. But it also isn't an understeery little bitch. Like the Mach-E we had yesterday. Although despite that, I am still crashing it because, as ever, I am a driving god. Said no one ever. Still, now we've got to do what it's intended to do. We're going to send this Dorito sideways. Here we go. That could not have gone worse, unless I'd accidentally chucked it into the river. Right, here we go. Okay, that was good. This is nice. Okay, getting into it. A little bit of snapback. You've got to get that under control. Turn in, handbrake. Whoa, that was far too aggressive, but I have got it. There is quite a lot of snapback, which is true of these drift cars, because you're supposed to actually chain drifts with these. Rather than just send it in and then get it out, you're actually supposed to chain it into another drift. Rather than, you know, just single drifts. They do take a bit of getting used to, but eventually you can bring them to heel. This one's one of the best ones I've driven, I can't lie. Despite my skill issues, this is actually amazing and very good fun. And, yeah. Also benefits of a rotary engine. They rev a lot. Lots of revs is good in drifting. Because lots of revs means more wheel spin, which means longer drifts. In simple terms, anyway. Good fun. Now let's go and undo all of that. One of my friends has just let me drive his Pagani Huayra and his Cayman GT4 RS. Great fun. Right, now we've got to get on with the gritty business of driving it on the circuit. By which I mean wildly understeering for about a minute. Probably less. I reckon it could be quicker than the Mach-E we were driving. It's certainly better acceleration. And I reckon it corners better. Just a hunch. Well, here goes nothing. Off the line. Very quick. See? Told you it corners better. Brake here. Bit of understeer. Or in other words, a lot of understeer. Right, power down the straight. There's Frank in the other RX7. I have just understeered off, hold on. Right. He's a really good drifter. Right, here we go. Can we beat, what was it the Mach-E got? 46.5? 45.7. Honestly, I'm very impressed. It's quicker than the Mach-E and it's free. And even the engine upgrades are much cheaper, so I like it. But there is a problem. The problem is the wrap. I'm fed up of seeing it. We've had it on the Corvette since the original Drift event. And it is starting to get old. I understand it's because, you know, all these cars are made by the Falken Formula Drift team, so that this is their livery and stuff, but a little variation would be nice, Foxy. Anyway, that's pretty much the only problem. It's a free car, it's light, it's fun, I really like it. I like it so much that I'm letting Frank do this shot because he's a far better drifter than me. And also, just a moment ago, he let me drive his Cayman GT4 RS. And obviously his Huayra, as I was mentioning in the circuit race. So, he's a good guy. On that bombshell, thanks for watching. It seems that this is worth the very little effort that you have to put in to get it. But is the Lamborghini Gallardo worth much more effort? Find out tomorrow. See you then. God, he's such a good drifter.